Have you ever wondered why your welcoming HOA president showed up the second your moving truck left? What if the rules about grass length were just the cover for something far darker? And what if the woman preaching community values was the one destroying lives to stay in power? Picture this: Willow Creek Estates. The kind of place where every mailbox matches the shutters and every lawn is mowed with military precision. Ironic, right? My wife, Lieutenant Rachel Voss, had just rotated home after 18 months overseas. The kind of deployment that carves pieces off you even when you come back in one piece. I figured this cookie-cutter suburban paradise by the lake would give her space to breathe. No sandstorms, no sirens, just birdsong and the occasional lawnmower. Boy, was I wrong. 3 hours after the last box thumped onto our hardwood, the knock hit the door like a judge's gavel. 3 crisp raps, each one screaming, "I own this block." I wiped my hands on my jeans and opened up. There she stood, Patricia Beaumont, Willow Creek HOA president. Early 60s, pearls tighter than a noose, navy cardigan buttoned like armor. Her smile was so sweet it could rot teeth. Mr. and Mrs. Voss, Patricia Beaumont. I like to greet all our new residents personally. Make sure we start on the right foot. The way she said, "right foot," sounded like a threat wrapped in pastel wrapping paper. Her eyes flicked past me to Rachel, still in her faded army tee, dog tags glinting, sleeves rolled up from hauling boxes. Something in Patricia's face shifted, like she'd smelled trouble in the air and decided it was coming from us. Rachel just stood there, calm, letting the silence stretch. No snapback, no glare. She'd learned long ago that sometimes the best weapon is patience. Patricia kept talking, voice dripping fake honey. "We do have certain standards here, dear. Approved exterior colors only, none of those bold military greens. If you catch my drift. Grass no taller than 2 inches exactly. And please, no displays that might upset the more sensitive neighbors. We've had issues before with certain backgrounds bringing in, well, habits." Rachel tilted her head, that faint half-smile playing on her lips. The one I knew meant she was already cataloging every word. "Habits," she echoed softly, like she was tasting poison. Patricia clutched her clipboard tighter. "You know, loud trucks, flags bigger than regulation. We keep things civilized." She turned on her heel, heels clicking like tiny accusations down the walkway. The door shut, and the whole house felt heavier, like the walls were suddenly listening. Rachel didn't explode. She never did at first. She just pulled that worn black notebook from her back pocket, the one she'd carried through 2 tours, and jotted something in her neat, controlled handwriting. "Day 1, she murmured. "Immediate profiling. Suspected surveillance." I laughed it off. "Babe, it's just HOA nonsense. Rules about everything from mailbox flags to flower colors. They fined old Mr. Jenkins last year for painting his door the wrong shade of beige." Rachel's eyes stayed locked on the road outside. 2 cars, black sedan, silver SUV, sat a little too still under the pines. Windows dark. No one getting out. "They're not here for the welcome wagon," she said quietly. "This is a test, and I'm not failing it by reacting." That night the lake went glassy under the sunset, but the quiet felt wrong. Rachel sipped her coffee on the porch, scanning shadows. 2 watchers, she whispered. Same cars from earlier. I squinted. Sure enough, brake lights flickered once, like a signal. Rachel's smile was small, sharp. "They want us nervous. People get sloppy when they're scared." She didn't throw the rulebook back in Patricia's face. Not yet. Instead, she endured the next morning when a cream-colored note weighted by a river stone appeared on our porch. "Welcome to Willow Creek. Please review guidelines before any changes. Violations will be noted." The word "changes" underlined twice. Lavender perfume clung to it like cheap perfume on a bully. Rachel read it once, folded it precisely, then crouched under the porch steps and pried out a small black box no bigger than a matchbook. "Tracker," she said flatly, tossing it on the railing with a clink. "Not the cheap kind either. They're tracking when we come and go. Maybe where we go." My stomach twisted. "We calling the sheriff?" Rachel shook her head, that dangerous calm settling over her. "No. We watch them watching us. Then we returned the favor, twice as smart. She set the tracker in the center of the porch table like a captured chess piece. Over breakfast, she barely touched her eggs. They want to play games? Fine. But I'm changing the board. By mid-morning, she was in the truck, tossing boxes like we were donating. Instead, we drove 5 miles out past the old mill, slid the tracker under the bumper of an abandoned Ranger truck, and dusted our hands. On the way back, the silver SUV sat on the shoulder. Hood up. Some clean-cut guy pretending to fiddle with the engine. Boots too polished for roadside trouble. Rachel didn't even glance. He's too neat. Professional. Pat's got contractors. Back home, another envelope waited in the doorframe. A photo of our cabin taken from across the lake. Office light still on. Rachel studied it, then laid it beside the tracker. 2 moves in 1 day. They're getting impatient. Her voice stayed even. But I saw the fire building behind her eyes, the same one that kept her alive overseas. She didn't yell. She didn't confront. She just slipped on her jacket and took a casual walk around the neighborhood, noting every curtain twitch, every shadow. When she returned, she slid a slip of paper across the table. 3 names. 3 addresses. Underneath 1 word. Watchers. Tomorrow, she said softly, we start returning the favor. The air in Willow Creek felt thicker now, like the whole estate was holding its breath, waiting for the next ridiculous rule to drop while the real game played in the shadows. Grass 2 inches exactly? Sure. But spying on veterans who just wanted quiet? That was the real violation, and Rachel was done pretending it wasn't. The next morning, Rachel was up before dawn, coffee in hand, staring at her growing notebook. Ready to pay some visits? She asked. We started small, 2 houses on her list with drawn blinds and garages that never opened. Rachel didn't knock. She just circled slow, cataloging motion sensors, tire tracks vanishing into woods, fresh scrapes on mailboxes. Dark humor hit when we passed a yard with a perfectly manicured lawn and a sign. HOA approved. Violators will be fined. Rachel snorted. Civilized my ass. They're running a suburban police state with better azaleas. By the time we reached Patricia's place, the lawn looked vacuumed. Flagpole perfect. Stars and stripes hanging just so. Rachel walked straight up and knocked, sharp. Once. Patricia opened the door, pearls glinting, smile tight as a tripwire. Well, didn't expect company so soon. Rachel held up the tracker between 2 fingers. Found this under our porch. Thought maybe you'd know who it belongs to. Patricia's smile didn't crack, but her eyes flickered. Can't say I've seen that. But we do have safety concerns. Some residents don't fit. The words hung there, heavy with the same old smear. Rachel, the unstable vet who might bring drama. Rachel pocketed the tracker. Good thing we're excellent at fitting in. When we choose to. The air between them crackled. Patricia smoothed her cardigan. Just remember, Willow Creek has rules for a reason. As we walked away, Rachel murmured, she's not just HOA, she's connected. And terrified of losing her throne. The silver SUV pulled out behind us, following at a polite distance. Game on. That evening, Rachel disappeared into the shed with tools and headlamp. She came back with new improvements. A birdhouse rehung at a different angle. Motion light aimed at the community path. Game cam tucked behind hydrangeas pointing at the bulletin board. Insurance, she said, wiping her hands. If they're bold at noon, they're reckless at midnight. We waited in the dark. Porch light half drawn like bait. Around 12:41, the game cam blinked. Footsteps on grass. A figure in ball cap pried the bulletin board. Slid something flat inside. Rachel hit the lights. Yard flooded white. The men hissed abort and bolted. Rachel zoomed the feed. Contractors. Trained. Someone gave them orders. We retrieved the cream sheet. Another reminder about unapproved equipment. Rachel swept a UV light over it. Tiny yellow microdots glowed like secret constellations. Printer talk, she whispered. Same family as the porch note. Motive. Method. And it's all about to blow up in their faces. Morning light looked peaceful, gold on the lake. Mist curling low, but we knew better. Rachel sat at the kitchen table. Laptop open. Manila folder labeled Doc 06 beside her. Pattern match, she said. Same printer. Registered to the community center downstairs office. Whitmore Consulting, Patricia's little side hustle. She clicked through public records. Fake notary stamp on a lease signed by a dead woman. 15 grand in community safety equipment funneled straight to Patricia's company. No receipts. Same quarter the spy printer was bought. Rachel's voice stayed clinical, but her eyes burned. Theft. Fraud. Misuse of every neighbor's dues. While she lectures us about grass length, I almost laughed at the absurdity. Karen Beaumont preaching standards while running a surveillance racket with hired muscle. She didn't stop. She mapped property lines, cross-checked filings, pulled contractor backgrounds. 2 of the night visitors? Ex-federal security guys with misconduct rap sheets, intimidation, evidence tampering. Both tied to Patricia's fixer, a square-jawed suit named Langley who ran consulting from the same basement. Rachel leaned back. They think the hearing next week is their stage. It's going to be ours. That afternoon, Langley's beige sedan rolled up. He slipped a card in the doorframe. We should talk before this gets messy. Rachel read it once and smiled like a wolf spotting prey. He just moved us to checkmate. She chose the boathouse for the meeting, neutral ground. Empty in off-season. I watched from across the water with binoculars. Langley waited, hands in pockets, trying to look casual. You're making certain residents uneasy, he said. Rachel's reply was ice. Uneasy how? Trackers under porches? Fake notices? Or just the fact I won't roll over? He offered a folded paper, mandatory hearing notice. Failure to appear means removal. Rachel took it without flinching. This isn't the fight. The fight is the fraud you're hiding behind it. Langley's smile slipped. This lake is deep. Things sink fast. Rachel walked away. So do empires built on other people's money. Back home, she prepped like a mission briefing, documents stacked. Thumb drive ready. Game cam card gleaming. They want an audience? They'll get one. The night before the hearing, Langley showed up at our door. Rachel let him in. Lights low. Evidence laid out like a trap. His eyes landed on the folders. The microdot photos. The contractor files. Smile gone. You think you can win this? Rachel met his stare. I don't need to win. I just need you to lose. He left without another word. The HOA hearing room smelled of stale coffee and desperation, folding chairs packed. Every neighbor hungry for drama. Patricia sat center stage. Pearls tight. Smile frozen. Langley lurked offside. Arms crossed. Rachel walked in wearing her service jacket. Stack of folders in hand. The room hushed. Patricia's voice oozed syrup. Lieutenant Voss. We're here for your repeated violations. Rachel set the folders down with a soft thud. Before we start, I'd like these entered. When the evidence shows board misconduct. Murmurs rippled. Patricia laughed too loud. Misconduct? Really? Rachel opened the first folder. Photocopy of the fake lease. Dead notary stamp, glaring. Your company's lease. Signed by you. Countersigned by Langley. Notarized by a woman 2 years in the ground. Patricia's color drained. Next folder, budget pages circled in red. 15 grand funneled to Whitmore Consulting for a printer that spat anonymous threats. Grainy nightcam stills of the contractors, sliding notes. These men? Tied to Langley. Former feds kicked out for harassment. Paid with our dues. Voices rose. That's our money, someone shouted. Another, where's the receipts? Patricia tried to recover. This is irrelevant. Rachel cut her off. It's entirely relevant when the people fining me for grass length are stealing thousands while spying on residents. She slid the final page forward, the secret Neighborhood Improvement Reserve account. 40 grand hidden. Co-signed by Patricia and Langley. I forwarded everything to county fraud this morning. You can address it here or let the investigators do it for you. The room erupted. One board member cleared his throat. Perhaps we table the Voss matter until these allegations are investigated. Patricia started to protest. Too late. The gavel fell. Effective immediately. Outside, the air tasted sweeter. Rachel leaned close to Langley as she passed. I know about the second ledger too. His face flickered, pure panic. 2 days later, county SUVs rolled up. Suits marched into the community center. Patricia emerged pale, flanked by agents. Langley followed. Jaw locked, refusing eye contact. Neighbors whispered. Phones out. Filming the fall. One investigator paused by Rachel. Major Voss. We appreciate the intel. We'll take it from here. Langley's head snapped at the rank. For the first time he looked small. Willow Creek felt different after that. No beige sedans. No midnight footsteps. Even Patricia's porch light stayed dark. An envelope arrived a week later. No return address. Just one line in block letters. You play well. See you around. Rachel folded it once and stared at the lake. Some games don't end. Ethan. They just change boards. She wasn't worried. She was already 3 moves ahead. Look, folks, the real lesson here is simple. Power-hungry Karens and their HOA empires only thrive when good people stay silent. But one smart veteran who watches, documents, and waits, that's when the clipboard crumbles. Next time your neighborhood busybody pulls this crap, remember, patience beats pearls every time. Stay sharp, stay quiet, then strike. Justice always loves a comeback.